So here we are again. Gonzo is up 1-0 between in the semifinal, and Khers and Gonzo meet again on a lovely map here. And that map is no other than Slutsk. And we have two interesting divisions. Especially Khers division, I feel like, is pretty interesting for the map. As Khers, on the left side in blue, is bringing here Panzer Division Tetra with Maverick this time. And Gonzo is bringing a division that is a blast from the past. 3rd Guards Tank Corps is back in action. And I guess with the new buffs over the last couple of months, that kind of makes sense, especially on a map like this. Or what do you think about this, Fantix?
I think Gonzo has been practicing 3rd Guards lately, so it was kind of expected for him to pick it. And yes, it has been really improving the past few months, or the patches, patch by patch, and getting better.
Yeah. And before we run in, guys, one quick shout out again to Matcherino, where you can support the tournament's prize pool and these players for their amazing games over this season with a bit of a financial boost, and you don't even have to pay anything yourself. Like, you can get the prize pool up by just visiting some websites where you don't even have to buy anything. You just have to visit them, have to give them a look or don't, and then close them again. Or submit an email address here to BetterHelp or so to add 40 cents here, 20 cents for each website visited at Lucid Sound or at PowerA. And if everyone does that, that's easily a couple more bucks added to the prize pool. And if everyone on YouTube does it, that's actually even a couple of $100 added to the prize pool, guys. Without any one of us paying anything, and with that going to the players themselves, so that they can buy themselves a nice cup of coffee or more, even quite a bit more. Gonzo, over the last couple of seasons for sure, got a bit more stuff out of this. So, yeah, Matcherino, guys. But let's go into the action as the battle has begun with Khers on the left side coming in here with Tetra, which is a really interesting division. It usually sees quite a bit of play in the league, but usually not on maps that are this open. Or am I wrong with that?
I think Tetra has a lot of great tools for open maps, but they have a limited supply of them, so losing them can be very painful and can end the game for you if you make a few silly mistakes with them.
Yeah, it seems like Khers really wants to go for it, a big starting push in itself, but Gonzo has a lot of forces there as well. Got a couple of guided DPs, OB-25s, and Amcha. The Feldjäger's one of my favorite units in the game. A 15-point sniper with 4 more MP44s and 5 hit points for 15 points. A really amazing unit that also has the discipline trait, which can be helpful in this division, which is full of Landesschützen, Ost, and other disheartened infantry. So, it will be interesting if this push can work out. It won't be easy to do so against Gonzo's defenses here, though. And at the meantime, obviously the north is super lightly defended here by Khers, so that could end in tragedy if Gonzo realizes that and does a counter push with its Tankos, Dejanikis there. And it's only a couple of Sturmpaniers and one Panzer Grenadiers hold the whole north. So that's going to be interesting. So all pressure here is on the south for Khers. He needs to get something done here. And how would you rate his chances to do so?
I think the walking Landesschützen at your opponent tactic is a very good idea, and it usually works out well. Unless you see a Sherman, which we can see, so maybe if he can get rid of that Sherman, it will work out quite well for him, but otherwise I wouldn't say so.
Yeah, I guess that's what the Martyrs are for. We also already have the first IS-2 here on the battlefield for Gonzo, and these are 1944 models, so they have 180mm frontal armor, they have 4 rounds per minute, so they have really nothing to sneeze at. And getting rid of that won't be an easy task for Panzerdivision Tetra. So, going to be interesting here in the north. Martyr engaging infantry for now. Amcha neatly in the light forest. And no anti-tank on the infantry of Khers is a problem. So even if he pushes into that forest, he won't be able to take it out that easily. As the OB-25 desperately tries to take out the Martyr and actually succeeds in it. 1 hit point remaining, but it gets the kill. And that's an annoying blow here for Khers. Like 2 Martyrs together that can flank enemy tanks, can do a hell of a lot of work, but he's down to 1 now. And that south gonna become really interesting now with the IS-2 coming in.
Yeah, it looks like Khers won't have much staying power in the south because he will get picked apart by the IS-2.
Yes, Volkssturm here, cheap 15-point infantry trying to cross the open, but obviously they don't have any long-range firepower, so they really should stay in that forest now that the IS-2 has line of sight on them, as the IS-2 is trying to pick them apart, and pushing over that IS-2 will be an absolute Herculean task for Khers. So let's see if he can achieve that, but I feel like he might want to switch gears and switch his objective, and it seems like he's doing that now, trying to go a bit more for the center. I feel like that's the right thing to do. Or what would you do in this position?
Well, it is certainly a good idea to try to get over the plateau, and maybe if you can put enough AT guns in there, you can keep the IS-2 at bay and then have a great game defending that.
Yes, if you can get the Ridge. The Ridge for sure has some nice line of sights, and that can be quite annoying for the opponent. But Gonzo at least has a couple of units there, and obviously the IS-2 can start to pivot there a bit as well, but it is a slow tank, so it will take a while. Now the other big boy of Gonzo's division is out already as well, though. A 2-star veteran C ISU-152, so that is the only one in that card of units. You get 2 cards of ISU-152s now in that deck, which was a really great buff to the division. Let's see how they will work out. They should be pretty good in this matchup.
The Sherman got a penetration while reversing. That was quite nice for him, I guess.
Yes.
And Valentine moving in for the kill now. I guess that could work very well for him.
Marder not getting the aim on target, and yes, Marder is falling, so it's only Landesschützen now. And Landesschützen, as I've said earlier, don't have any AT, so that's a bit problematic. Like, they could run on top of the Emcha right now, but they just wouldn't achieve anything there, which is a bit problematic. IG from the south trying to still help out. A Jagdpanzer 4, great tank, just even out. This one is outclassed though by the IS-2 and the ISU-152, so has to be careful. And Khers is going for an option of dealing with IS-2s that is a pretty classic one. Not super obvious, but the Wurfrahmen 40 actually kind of counters the IS-2, as yes, the Wurfrahmen rockets are obvious to see, and with most tanks you can just dodge them. Issue is, the IS-2 is really slow, so even if you react quickly, you still can't really fully get out of the circle of the Wurfrahmen. And the Wurfrahmen rockets have a lot of damage, so a couple of hits can take out the biggest of boys. Let's see if Khers can do so effectively in this game.
Yeah, we can really see the armor of Gonzo just taking apart the infantry of Khers right now. Like, he cannot do much currently to counteract it. Maybe wait for the Wurfrahmen and hope that it will hit.
Yeah, he has to be really careful now, bringing in reinforcements into a town in the north. And trying to get that push onto the hill, but he doesn't have the CQC infantry there. And Tank and Sanikis and Saperis holding the forest quite nicely. Even getting an SS Sturm Pioneer Grenadier completely annihilated there. So as long as Gonzo stays in the deep forest, he should be somewhat fine. Tank and Sanikis though, getting into line of sights of the MG42 and the IG-18 get picked apart a bit there. But Emcha already on the way. And this is not looking so well for Khers there in the south right now. Wurfrahmen.
Khers is winning the fights in the ridge, so that can help his chances to not to hold the IS-2 and the ISU back a lot.
Yeah, if the Jagdpanzer could get a kill onto the Emcha, that obviously would be really, really helpful as well, as those Shermans are pretty annoying against all the infantry. Meanwhile, in the north, also a lot of infantry here unloading now. SS Sturm Pioneers together with a lot of Volkssturm and Landesschützen Ost, the cheap, spammable 15-point infantry, together with the really high veterancy 30-point infantry here. The SS Sturm Pioneers with 8 MP40s and 2 MG42s, absolute monsters at the 300-meter range.
The first Wolfhamen missing, so yeah, you have to wait a little bit longer to kill those IS-2s, I guess.
But one counter for the IS-2 just arrived. I'm surprised to see it in A phase, and not earlier though. Like, I wonder why he waited this long if he has it in A phase. As we see the first Pack 43 group on the battlefield. And
it's phase lock to A phase, actually.
yeah.
So you only have 2 of them, I guess.
So that thing can kill IS-2s for breakfast. And that's a good way of trying to keep the South contested. You obviously don't want to reveal it too early. Oh my god, the flak feeling just took apart the P2. P2 nerf really hitting in there. As they now only have medium resilience. That would not have happened last patch. P2 going down. Pack 43 moving around. And this is a great air start here for Khers, bringing in the flak feeling just in the nick of time here to get Gonzo's airplane there killed off. And the Yamcha gets killed off by the Jagdpanzer, so the fight on the ridge is going into Khers' favor, and that game now is starting to look a bit better than 3 minutes ago for Khers. Starting to win some battles after the first initial pushback of Gonzo in the south.
Yeah, now you just have to get a few pack forters in there and maybe a few more infantry units, and then you can probably hold or side shot the IS-2s and get back the control over the southern side.
Yeah, Pack 43 and Wolframen plus some martyrs. That's some good kill squads against ISUs and against IS-2s, so let's see what Khers can do here to keep the big boys at bay. And infantry-wise, he for sure outclasses Third Guards. Third Guards infantry is pretty lackluster. That never was the strong point of the division. So in the towns, with the spam that Tatra can bring to town with the MG26, Panzer Grenadiers, and so on, let's see what he can do there. Volkssturm running in there now as well. And this starts to look a lot better for Khers now. Wolframen.
It's on the spot, so it could do a lot of damage to the IS-2. Maybe even kill it.
Usually you need 2 batteries, but yeah, with lucky RNG it might even outright kill the IS-2. Let's see how quick Gonzo will be on the reaction. It's not on a road. That's the only position where you can fully dodge a Wolframen. If you're on a road and you really react super quickly with fast move, you can dodge it fully. Even if you react quickly now against that Wolframen shot, you will only get to the outer part of the circle, which is still lower chance of being hit, but Wolframen shots here now coming in. And the IS-2 might be in trouble. IS-2 trying to disengage. First hit is pretty good. How many more will there be? Another one that is decent. Ooh, another one that is dealing some damage. Okay, 3 ones that did damage, but no complete direct hit. So the IS-2 is still alive, but for sure is damaged now. And another Wolframen hit like that, and this IS-2 for sure is toast. And it will be off, pushed back out of the center for a while, so the Jagdpanzer 4 maybe can do a bit more there. But the next ISU-152 has arrived now. And that one is aiming up on the Jagdpanzer, so the Jagdpanzer has to be careful. It doesn't have the range to engage the ISU over here. It's 2000 meter range for the ISU.
That could be very bad for Khers losing that. It's a key unit to keeping the defense of the center together.
Oh my god! Khers bringing in all the remaining Landesschützen and Volkssturm here, I think. I'm not sure that is the right choice, though. Like, spamming them all into the center, is that really where these units are that effective? A Tiger coming in the north, but I feel like that Landesschützen spam is an interesting choice for sure. I'm not sure if I agree with this buy-in. The Pack 43.
They are great units, so you're not wrong with spamming them. Maybe not the best position to spam them in, but yeah,
exactly.
maybe.
Like I'm not arguing the investment into the units. I'm more arguing the position of it. Jagdpanzer goes down to the ISU, and that's bloody awful, because now all these Volkssturm and Landesschützen really don't have any armored support, and I feel like that was absolutely critical there. Pack 43 gets a half-pack killed, but that's not what it is looking out for, and now obviously Gonzo knows that it's there, could bring around some artillery maybe. You don't get much artillery in Third Guards Tank Corps, but maybe some SU-76s or so to try to deal with it. As the P2s obviously don't work out right now. the Schützenlast getting bullied in the south. And the IS-2 and the ISU. All of them now opening fire onto the infantry spam of Khers. Khers still up on a 13-11, which could become vital with the time limit in place. And the Tiger E versus ISU 152 is always an interesting matchup. I love that matchup, because the ISU can one-shot the Tiger E, but the Tiger E has the better rate of fire and the better chance of hitting. So, always an interesting fight.
Gonzo rushing in the Yamcha into the Volkssturm, that might not be the best idea. Yeah, he stops that, so he won't lose the Yamcha soon.
Meanwhile, Wolframen finally getting reloaded here in the rear for Khers. Another PaK-43 group on the way. Coming in for the center. Hopefully we'll make it there. And Yamcha over here holding the line nicely. 13-11 still for Khers. OB-25 running around here. Tiger E rolling forward. Yeah, Panzer 38 team sitting around. And yeah, this Gonzo is looking so much better than the Gonzo we saw versus Onord in the group stage. Gonzo for sure looking a bit more on task, and Khers having a tough battle here, but the Volkssturm got the Yamcha in the end. So getting some nice kills back here again. It's a nice back and forth so far this game. I must say I'm absolutely enjoying this one. Banger of a game so far. As we have the Tiger E and the Jagdpanzer coming up, and they are a threat to all the tanks there on the other side. Two IS-2s on the side in the battlefield for Gonzo now, though. So 4 big boys here against Khers. And the Wolframen still has to reload, and the PaK-43 is not quite on point just yet. All the infantry on retreat. So, yep. I guess the infantry grind will have to go on for a bit longer.
Yeah, it really feels like Gonzo is just taking away all this infantry with all these heavy tools that he has out already, and Khers is trying to find a way to kill these IS-2s and ISUs.
I mean, if he can get rid of enough of those, he for sure can overwhelm the rest. In all the other parts, the division that Khers has is better. Artillery, it has the amazing check gun. Air, it can keep at bay with the flak feeling and the flak 41s now that the P2 has been nerfed. And his own air is pretty decent, and he for sure has the way better infantry. So, if he can get rid of the ISUs especially, which are the insane anti-infantry tool here, the ISU's HE damage is really, really massive. The IS-2 not so much, and the IS-2 also has a slow rate of fire. But as long as the ISUs are around, the infantry of Khers is only able to win in towns and forests, and that's obviously not good enough on an open map like this. So the question is, how does he achieve that? Wolframen hits for sure would be the first start, and the other PaK-43 still in transport, trying to go north. And more Landesschützenost coming into the town here as well. And it's for the first time at 12-12. Maybe it's not that Khers has to win here. Maybe Khers now only has to hold the line. As he already has Gonzo nearly at half-life, but obviously only holding for the next 33 minutes is not an easy task if the opponent's name is Gonzo.
We can see the ISC shooting at the Stug 3 for like the past 2 minutes, and neither of them moving it.
Yeah. Yeah, the ISU already using up 3 shells there, but eventually it should get a hit in, and yeah, that's now the case. And obviously the Stug 3 East frontal armor doesn't have anything against 152mm AP shells, so the ISU finally gets the kill, but down to only 2 AP shells. One of the issues of the ISU, it doesn't carry that many shells, especially in the AP department, so you always need to keep a Studebaker somewhat close by to get them back up there. Meanwhile, IS-2 engaging against Tigers in the town. Tiger getting, I think, 1 penetration in, but then the IS-2 shows frontal armor. Second Tiger.
And the other IS-2 maybe going down to the Wolframen.
Oh, yeah, that one looked pretty good. Oh, firing its rockets there. Ah, Gonzo moving in the right direction. Actually moving his half-track in there. That was a bit sad. but the half-track is the only kill that Wolf Ramen gets this time around. Tiger in the north, though, is doing a good job, winning the town fight up there, as there's no real anti-tank option there to deal with Tiger. And the IS-2s and ISUs don't really want to move up there, as they are really slow up there and they can't move that well in towns. So Tiger as a close quarter fight unit, usually not what you see, but in this matchup might be the right choice here for Khers. And he's starting to win that town, and if you get that town completely under control, that is a big threat to the red side, as then you can threaten the reinforcement roads here, back in the rear, and keeping those clean as the red side is an absolute pain. So great idea here from Khers, showing that he is a really clever player as well, finally finding a weak spot here. He threw a lot of units onto a lot of spots of Gonzo, and finally he found a weak spot. And oh my god, the group is now going to town. So the IS-2s and ISUs have to run. An Amcha here is still getting shot at. The group missing twice there, uncharacteristic. It has a pretty decent accuracy rate. But
yeah, sometimes the charm, so one pen, and yeah, probably that's all that the group's getting for now. Maybe. I am really missing some artillery from Gonzo. He usually brings out some to get rid of these tools that he normally cannot get rid of with tanks or MGs.
I mean, I feel like he might fear the artillery fight, because on the other side you have the amazing check gun. So, but I guess with SU-76s you wouldn't have to worry too much about that, though. Yeah, for now he mostly focused on the big gun. I'm surprised we didn't see the check guns out yet, as those check artillery pieces with their 8 rate of fire are insane in their strength, so they could have helped out Khers a good bit as well in my eyes, but so far we haven't seen any of those yet.
I think as Khers you don't want to really go into the artillery fight either, because you know Gonzo probably has more 80 or probably more ISUs and IS2s than you have 80 capabilities, so if he can run you out of those, then you probably have a lost game.
Yeah, Park 43 in the south. Getting shot by the ISU now. That's not great. Yeah, Gonzo using the oldest trick in the book of how to deal with anti-tank guns. Shooting right in front of them and letting the HE damage do the job. And in the south, as the Stuk 3 has fallen there, half-tracks now can move around, and Gonzo is crapping some flags there. Khers is getting a bigger and bigger part of the northern side though. So Khers still up on the 1410, but not on the 59 anymore. So taking Gonzo down will still take a lot longer now, and the flag feeling in the south is in danger, and you don't get much AA. That's one of the weaknesses of Tatra. You get solid AA with 1 card of Flak 41s and 1 card of Flak Feelings.
Ooh.
But if those go down, you are in trouble, and the Pak 43 didn't quite get a shot up on the ISU before the ISU was... the shells landed on top of it. So ISU here close to finishing the job onto that Pak 43, and that would be a devastating blow, as that means only one of those is remaining. And Wolf Ramen coming in closer again. Once more, trying to get the IS-2. IS-2, insta reaction from Gonzo. Really, really good reaction there. But still might not be good enough. But he still has 2 more of these. You know, the Wolf Ramen not landing the shots perfectly there. Yeah, usually what some players do is you aim quite a slight bit behind the enemy IS-2 with the Wolf Ramen. Because that's the usual reaction people do, like you want to reverse out of there, and if you aim slightly behind it, that means they actually run perfectly inside of it. Obviously you don't want to aim too far behind of it, because then it's too obvious, but like aiming slightly behind an IS-2 with the Wolf Ramen is the way to go to ensure you get some good hits in most of the time. But this time Gonzo with the insta reaction not getting hit either, and Gonzo in the south now just running rampant with half-tracks and actually getting a 1311 there for a second. Panzer 38's coming around to stop that. They obviously won't do anything against an ISU, and the Flak feeling is in trouble as well.
This breakthrough really just feels crucial for Gonzo to keep the game alive, to prolong the game minute by minute, so he can get a use out of his ISUs and IS2s.
Yes, if Khers would have stayed on the 15-9 for the last 3 minutes, again, Gonzo would already be pretty close to defeat here now, but getting a 12-12 for a while and keeping it now on the slow tick, thanks to the flex capture in the south, keep Gonzo in the game and gives him the time to maybe crash Khers completely, as we still have 27 minutes remaining till the time limit kicks in. So a lot of time here for Gonzo to revert the tick. But Khers still looking really strong in the north here, and one thing that third guards really will start to feel is the lack of infantry in the deck, and especially the lack of quality infantry here in Seaface. So trying to retake the towns in the north will be an absolute pain. Like, yes, everything that moves out of the town, the IS-2s and ISUs will blast into smithereens, but everything inside the towns will be tough to kill. Type 43 gets a penetration onto an IS-2, but the IS...
Yeah, but it's only 2 HP, so...
Yeah, it's in a world of...
One bad move and you lose the tank, and probably your only tool to efficiently kill the IS-2s.
ISU moving around. Wolframen also in a dangerous spot now, can't really move out there anymore. In that forest in the north. Group aiming up onto the Emcha in the rear. S2 not quite being spotted, and the ISU gets the kill, and that's a big problem for Khers. Now he only has the Tigers and the Jagdpanzers, and they can deal with the ISUs, but against the IS2, you need to rely on side shots at this point, and that is hard to achieve. Not impossible with the terrain he has now, and with the flanking advantage on the and the hill advantage he has now up in the north, as the IS2 rotates really slowly, but... Ooh, a tiger
in the town. Ooh,
that's painful.
Khers.
Yeah, he needs all of these big boys he can get, and he only gets a really limited amount of tigers as well. Like, he only gets those 2 he had, so no replacements for those either. Jagdpan, oh my god, oh, it's one... Oh,
Yeah,
one
it really
big loss after
like
another. All the tools
game
getting taken
away.
Gonzo being the evil parent now that takes away all the fun toys from the kid, one by one.
Yeah, everything changed in the past 2 minutes. Khers losing most of his equipment. And now probably we'll see Gonzo just using his ISTs and Khers not being able to do anything about it.
I mean, he still has a good point advantage, and he still has the hill in the north, but yeah, Khers will have to fight on for dear life here now over the next minutes, and maybe try to save 13-11 over the next 12 minutes, but that will be tough to achieve. So I guess the thing to hope for is keeping Gonzo from taking you down now in the next 24 minutes, which will not be easy though. Wolframen will try another shot. There's a lot of targets around there now, but Gonzo already splitting them up a bit. Not sure if he had some eyes on the Wolframen for a bit. Maybe not. Wolframen shots coming in. I guess 2 under fire. Artillerist gets unloaded, and the first IS-2 falling to the Wolframen there. So finally a victory there for Khers. But still 2 IS-2s on the battlefield. Still 2 IS-2s up here as well. And Khers 13-11 is in a lot of danger.
Yeah, but you can see just Gonzo rushing in M2As, half-tracks, and Khers not being able to do much about it as he lost most of his anti-tank powers.
Yeah,
and now even the Wolframen is in danger to the Guardia.
He has
finding it
and Panzer 38s around though still, and Gonzo still only on 12-12 now, and that half-track in the center surely will go down to the Stuk. So,
but he encircled the entire center, which is, well, not much, but a flag for him.
Stuk should be able to kill off that half-track, finally gets it killed. Gonzo on 13-11 now with the push in the town, and that's really the big problem. And Khers not really positioning his units on the hill. I'm surprised the Tiger moved that far back. I feel like the Tiger and the Jagdpanzer on the hill should have tried to poke for more side shots. Like, leveraging that advantage on the hill, I feel like was the vital way to go for him. And now the Wolframen gets hunted down by the Guardian. Can't really move away there, otherwise it will run into line of sight of other units. So it has to hope that its MG can pin down the Guardian in time. They get their AT grenade off. First one misses as they are pretty close to being stamped down, but the MG has a minimum range of 100 meters, so they will be able to fire another one soon. And that Wolf Ramen going down, and that's obviously another important tool here of Khers being picked off. And 22 minutes still to go here for Gonzo. So...
Yeah, it really feels like it was a missed opportunity to get a Pak 40 on the hill and start shooting down the ISTs from the sides. Maybe get another one on the ridge, and then they cannot enter your town anymore.
Yes.
But
I don't know why the Tiger also never tried to do anything like that. Like, the ISUs were pretty open for side and rear shots over here. Obviously, it's a bit dangerous, but if you focus your micro there, you should be pretty safe. And
no rushing in, and that's quite a risk.
Yeah, the Stuk and the Panzer 3L seem to be ready there. Sherman's in the south, moving around. The ISU now moving forward as well. There is Pak 40 coming in. If you can pick off the ISU in the south, his Stuks and Panzer 3Ls could win the fight against the Shermans, and he maybe could force Gonzo to move more of his big tanks from the north to the south. And in the meantime, maybe Khers could capture a couple of flags back. But for now, obviously, the power is all on Gonzo's side.
Yeah, Khers lost another Yak Panzer on the top side, so now it's looking really dim for him. He also has no AA, so we will see Khers holding on to their life and Gonzo just using every tool he has to make it hell for him for the next 20 minutes to come.
Yeah, P2 bomber coming in nicely here. Panzer Grenadier being pinned down. Stuk 3G in the rear and under threat as well. Amcha moving around. Guardia hitting all these infantry that are stuck behind enemy lines for Khers. And he needs a 12-12
in the south. That's going in to kill the key unit of Khers defense, the Stuk 3. I don't know. Probably will get the kill. Oh no, Khers notices, so he runs away.
Good reaction there from Khers, but his infantry getting shredded there in the open. They don't have any place to run anymore, any place to hide. And the Stuk now has to turn around to face the Amcha, but that allows the Panzerschreck to get closer, gets in the shot and gets the kill onto the Stuk 3G. Amcha able to disengage. Panzer 3L on its own won't be able to win those fights here. So
yeah, and now it's free real estate for the Amchas to move in and move all the infantry down.
Yeah, in the north, Guardia moving around as well, but yeah, the center here is a problem for Khers now. Panzer 3L, I mean, versus one Amcha, it could win a fight, but versus 3, no chance. And now it's only Panzer 38T remaining here. Panzer 4H coming around in the rear. That can win long-range fights against Shermans. Not the mid-range ones. Pak 40 at least might be able to finally take out an ISU here in the south. Gets a nice first penetration in. ISU trying to move around, but just shows side armor. So a nice kill there, but it comes at the wrong moment. Like, if that would have come 2 minutes ago, when the Stuk was still alive, and he could have maybe pushed Gonzo back on the ridge now, that would have been amazing. Now, there's nothing left for the counter push now. So, Khers in trouble. Khers in big trouble.
It feels like it's too little and too late to do anything.
Well, Pak 37 gets another Amcha kill at least. So it's down to 2 Amchas. Panzer Force could win that fight, but the time it will need for Khers to push Gonzo off here is a lot of time for Gonzo to reinforce there. First ISU already moving south. Yeah, the IS-2 is now moving south as well. That could... Moving all of them seems a bit ballsy though. Like, there's still this Tiger E, there's still Stuk 3s, and there's still the better infantry for Khers in the north. I don't know why he moves all of his ISUs and IS-2s south. Feels a bit unnecessary and a bit ballsy.
I think he can do it because you only have one Tiger left, and you can probably move one unit back, and it will make it back before you lose the entire side.
Yeah, but I still feel like it's, first of all, a bit unnecessary, and second, gives Khers a bit of an opportunity here in the north. As we are still on 11-13, so it's not that far away from a 12-12 here for Khers, thanks to the major land grab he did in the north.
Yeah, but with these IS-2s, you can probably just push to the spoon and he can do probably nothing about it. And that's the end goal for Gonzo right now. Get a 18-6 or even a 15-9 and he has probably won the game.
Panzer moving around, Landesschützen trying to find the Panzerschreck. And they will do so. Panzerschreck should most likely go down relatively quickly there, though it's in green cover. Oh, no, yeah, nearly survives, but Landesschützen also get the kill in the end. And Panzer just moving around.
It's a nice kill, but the MG is just going in and killing all the Landesschützen and the Panzer 3080. Now you have the IST and Panzer Force fight probably soon enough. I think Gonzo even sees that due to the artillerist. And yeah, not much to do for Khers here. Probably just hope.
I'm so surprised Tiger E was so inactive in the north. Stoke 3Gs sitting around here as well. Saperi, Guardia killing out. And Saperi coming in for the hill.
Yeah, IS2 getting first shot, first ban. On the Panzer IV, there is nothing left on the southern flank. One pack fort and Landesschützen.
Yeah, Khers only needs a 12-12 for a couple of minutes, but it's looking harder and harder to get there. Just the losses are too numerous, and I still don't know why the Tiger is not moving at all. It now gets even bombed in the north, being completely idle, and Khers needs to do something there. Has become pretty lethargic in his play, like no moves whatsoever in the north. ISU at least gets taken out by a Stoke 3G. Yeah, the ISU not having the best of frontal armors, even the Stoke can penetrate it if it gets in range. So a decent kill there, but the two IS2s now in the south without any armor on the other side. Well, one Jagdpanzer, a couple of Panzer 3Ls now moving around, but not enough units around. Like, you want to have enough units to be able to side-shot the IS-2s whenever they move too far forward. Yeah, but he doesn't quite have the numbers for that anymore. He lost too many armored units piecemeal, so...
We'll probably will see a first shot, first spam.
Yeah, on this range. Oh, this is painful. Jagdpanzer going down. Panzer 4H now needs to try to get into a position, but without the Wolfram and without the Pak 43s and with only one Tiger remaining, this is a really, really tough task here for Khers. Gonzo moving one of the IS-2s north again. Tiger still completely idle. Our P2s coming around with more bombing runs. And yeah, the town push also not working out as the ISU still has control over that. So 40 minutes remaining. Khers still has an advantage in points, but getting back to the 12-12 will be absolutely painful here. Super hard to achieve.
Panzer 3 shooting at the infantry, holding, but Khers cannot do much more now.
Yeah, there's still that RS2 down there. SU-85 doesn't have the best of duels against Panzer 3L, as the Panzer 3L has the better rate of fire and can't...
Ooh, shooter knocked out.
SU-85 is pretty decently as well.
Yeah, that's probably a kill for Khers.
Oh yeah, transmission damage now. M42 trying to get in position. Pak 40 and a couple of Panzer Grenadiers moving up as well. And Khers might get up to a 1311 in the south, but he needs still one more flag, and I don't know where to grab it. I feel like in the north, maybe on the bridge, pushing those two Saperis out there. But without Tiger, that is not possible. And I really don't get why the Tiger didn't try to fight the ISU-152 over there of Gonzo. If that would have been taken out...
could have gotten at least one more IS-2 or Pak 40 kill, or Pak 40 ISU-152 kill. And then it would have made holding in the late game much more easier.
Yeah, I mean, he is back to an 11-13 right now. He just would have needed a 12-12 for a bit longer here, but currently the course is for Gonzo victory. And Khers is struggling really hard, struggling for dear life, trying to get a force composition that can hold on here together. And that's just a tough thing to achieve here. Guardias up over here, and even in the north, Guardias try to grab the flag back. Infantry of Khers down to a couple of Landesschützen and Panzer Grenadiers. So not enough to really achieve any pushes. IS-2 now opening up onto the Stuk 3G. That's pretty terrible as well. Stuk 3 just on the only spot in, in that part of the town that the IS-2 actually can see. So that penetrates,
Yeah, and
and
the
there we
kill
go.
comes.
That's one of the last remaining armored units in the north down as well. So
Now we see 2 MCHs coming in, which will probably dominate the town, and only one unit, the Panzergrenadier MG26, that can kill them.
we
I
see a
wouldn't give it.
Ju-87 actually going for the IS-2, and I think that's one of the damaged ones. But still, even the 5500 kilogram bomb's not quite good enough to kill the IS-2. So another one might be needed here. Those are relatively cheap, and it might have been an idea earlier on for trying to get the kill there, as there's no AA currently on Gonzo's side whatsoever. So you get pretty decent AA in third guards, so relying on bombers too much against it is not the way either. As yeah, there we go, ZSU M15 is now being called in. But the IS-2 might die beforehand. And that maybe could give Khers the power to get back to a 12-12 on the south. There's still MCHAs around though.
Ooh, yeah, the kill
IS-2 goes
happened.
down, P2 bomber coming in. Khers really trying hard here. But he only has one Panzer 3L remaining. He doesn't have the Pak 40 anymore. One Panzer 4H on the hill. But there's still 2 MCHAs that he has to come around to try to get the flags in the center.
I
Especially the
think
one in the open
Gonzo
ground.
still needs 15-9 for a minute or two to win. Before 50 minutes.
I don't think so. I think a 13-11 will be just enough for him. If I checked that earlier correctly. I think I had an eye on that. I feel like he just needs a 13-11 continuously here. To get
Yeah, that might be the case. It should be close regardless.
It will be close, but I feel like Gonzo is fine with a 13-11 here. And Khers needs the 12-12 for a minute or two. Which he is so close to getting, but he's not quite there yet. Panzer Grenadiers tried to achieve it in the south, but the MCHA already opening fire on top of them, and the Panzer 3L can't quite get a line of sight, even if it moves forward onto the MCHA. Good positioning there by Gonzo. And the next IS-2 coming around. Flak 41 rolling onto the field. 12-12 was achieved there for a second or two, so a couple less seconds that a 12-12 is needed now, but still not quite good enough here for Khers. Panzer 4H trying to come around and might even actually become a 59 here in a second on the hill. Panzer 4H coming around. Can it get the first shot off against the Sherman? Yes, it can. Gets the kill, but a Valentine 3 coming up onto the hill, and in that close of an engagement, the Valentine absolutely
And the
will
Flak
penetrate the
41?
Panzer 4H.
Oh, just doesn't get the shot off
That's
on
painful.
the MCH.
Panzer 4 goes down. Flak 41. Yeah, doesn't get the shot off, as you pointed out. So Gonzo really good at keeping his units alive there now. And that is pretty painful. Pretty painful.
M42 side-shotting the Tiger, one in the north.
And now 2 P2s coming in for finishing it off.
Yeah, it should be probably dead as well.
With the 250 kilogram bombs, that's problematic. Will kill off some parts of the infantry most likely as well.
Yeah.
And there we go. Tiger biting the dust. And that means these 2 MCHAs here will go to town. It's a 59 now for Gonzo. And this is most likely it. IS-2 in the south. Flak 41 can't deal with that on the long range, as it doesn't have the penetration there for frontal penetrations against an IS-2. So the IS-2 just can stand there and take the fight. Everything else would be...
Gonzo moving the IS-2 forward because he forgot to turn on the HE.
But even with a 43 model, that would be dangerous. With a 44 model, you can get really close before the Flak 41 can do any damage to you. So
Yeah, and now even the M15s are out, so you cannot really use air to kill the IS-2.
yes, and without anything to kill the Shermans in the north, this is starting to look rough. Like, Khers got so close a couple of times in his games, but in the end, Gonzo just seems to be that slight bit better in the micro and the trades, and really good conservation of his heavy tanks throughout the game. Like, other engagements went good or bad from time to time. He had heavy infantry losses at some points in the game, but he never like lost one of his heavy tanks easily. Like, one went down to bombers in the end, one went down to Wolframen, but none died in normal tank-on-tank fights. One of the ISUs did, but the IS2s all holding off well. Pak-43s, the biggest threat, got eliminated relatively nicely as well. Took him a while, but still early on, early enough that he could counter push. And with the 59 and 6 minutes remaining, and Khers really close to being overtaken here now. I fear this is not going to be Khers' series. And it seems like Gonzo is on the way to closing in onto the finals. Which will happen tomorrow, guys. For all of you watching on Twitch right now. It will happen tomorrow, Sunday, 12 p.m. CET. Between the winner of this series and Incha. 14-10 for Gonzo now.
IS2 moving into the side shot of the Panzer III, and it's still not getting a penetration.
Yeah. Panzer IIIL not having the best of penetration chances, and the IS2, even on the side, has 100mm of armor. So, light anti-tank options even struggle against the side there. P2 now coming in to deal with the Flak 41. Will be able to overwhelm it there. And the Panzer IIIL won't get the IS2. So 14-10 still continues. Khers still has a sliver of an advantage for now, but he's trying to do a counter push in the center. If he would have kept the north, he would be on the 12-12 right now. If he wouldn't have lost the north, if he would have been able to hold on to the 2 flags in the north, he would be on 12-12 right now. And would be able to finish this game off, but losing the Tiger there and never getting any good trades out of it is a bit of a disaster. Like, I laughed the push when he brought it up there, but he didn't quite push the advantage he got there hard enough, it seems. And Gonzo on the way to the final number 7. No, final number 8, I think, in his Steel Division League career. Final number 8, or so, out of 9 seasons. Pretty impressive. As Panzer Grenadier MG26 is here, hold the line. Panzer 4H shooting into the south. And it's a parry. On the bridge might get killed, but 4 minutes remaining. And
MG might go down. Yeah, it goes down to the Pak 37. Which is a nice kill, but probably the game is already done, so...
Yeah, Gonzo, I mean, it's still a sliver of advantage here for Khers, but the 59 now is eliminating that. Panzer 4H engaging onto the ISU and goes down. So that's, I feel like that was the last hope for maybe somehow a counter push in the center and into town. Heinkel 111 now coming in the north, Emcha there still holding the line, and what an amazing game from both players here. But Gonzo now has overtaken Khers, and still 3 minutes till the time limit. So great game from Gonzo, as Khers really doesn't have a chance of coming back here. But Khers also with some great ideas, with some pretty good play in the early and mid game, some clever play, especially in the north. Got the point advantage for a long while here, just faltered a bit too early, and yep, well played here by the best Steel Division player of all time. And it will be an interesting final tomorrow in a best of 5 versus Incha, who is playing his first final.
To me, it really just felt like Gonzo was having a better pick for the map in both games, and
yeah, I mean,
making it.
Yeah, it was for sure an interesting pick to pick Tatra here, but I think Khers had some solid ideas of how to play it there. I feel like the execution of Gonzo was just really flawless with the big tanks. Like,
yeah,
he made them look untouchable. They absolutely ain't. Like, usually if we see IS2s and ISUs, they die to Wolframens, they die to cluster bombers, they die to anything, because people are just that bit overeager, or you just lose to a 59 tick. And he was able to manage to die to neither. Like, the 59 tick was the thing that got a bit closer to getting him, but he was able to keep Khers off that as
Yeah,
well.
getting that center flags were just crucial for him because now probably the game could be over if he doesn't have that 12-12 for a minute or two
Yes.
in the
If
center.
he wouldn't have done the counter push with the two half tracks in the south and so on, like that game could have looked different, but he did because he's Gonzo and he knows when
Yeah.
to strike, he knows when to get the flags, and Incha will have to really get his A game on tomorrow if he wants to have a shot here. So will be interesting. Yes,
You're
Gonzo.
just watching Gonzo play and he's just winning whatever he does.
Yeah, IS2 moving up here. His execution for sure close to flawless as the Guardians come up here as well. Panzer Grenadiers trying to hold the line. 16-8 going on, and this is a really, really nice show of how to play third guards tank corps in the modern days. It's not the MCHA spam it once has been. It's also not quite the IS2 spam it has been. It's still a solid amount of IS2s, but not as many as once before. And yeah, well played here by the GOAT, by Mr. Gonzo, as he is closing in on another league victory here. But he will have one massive best of 5 tomorrow. Let's see if Incha is the one to stop him. BW231's moving forward. IS2 has to retreat as well. Panzer Grenadiers and Panzer VLs on the hill, holding out. Amcha on the fire. Panzer Grenadiers getting pinned down. BW231 coming around the corner.
It's weird how Gonzo can just afford to have this Guardians and trucks for like the past minute or so, sitting on the flag. Oh no, now he unloads them.
Yeah, but there was just nothing left there for Khers anymore, and we are above the 50-minute mark. Gonzo has the advantage, so GGVP to Gonzo, making it to the grand finals one more time, and is closing in on his 6th title, and really only Incha now in his way. But Incha was did beat the guy who beat Gonzo this season. He did beat Onord, and Onord did beat Gonzo. So does that mean Incha better than Gonzo this season? We will see. We will figure that all out tomorrow. Onord here, beating Gonzo in the group stage 2-0. But Onord won't have the chance of doing it again in the final, as Incha did best him in the semis. So both second places of the group stage, making it into the finals. Khers was the first seed here as well of his group above Incha. But it's Gonzo and Incha in the finals. So that should be really, really hot.